Some nights a call ends, the cool spoon handle still turning in your fingers, and the last thing you hear is, "Thanks for listening." The room goes quiet, but you do not feel returned to yourself. You feel useful, then oddly absent. Why does being needed sometimes leave you feeling erased? People usually imagine loneliness as silence, empty chats, nobody reaching out. But there is another version. In the lamplight, the crease in the other sofa cushion looks almost occupied, and that is exactly the feeling. Plenty of voices, very little return. What is loneliness if voices keep arriving but nothing comes back? The quiet part is that attention is not the same as return. Listening and being known are not the same job. You watch the elevator button stay orange after someone else has stepped out, and the difference becomes plain. One gathers sound, the other brings you back. At a cafe, your friend talks through a breakup while you trace the wet ring under a paper cup. You ask gentle questions. You nod at the right places. By the time the chair legs scrape back, they look lighter, almost steady. You walk outside carrying their story like an extra coat. How many conversations end with one person emptied out and the other one carrying the bag home? In the break room fridge reflection, your badge clip flashes while a coworker says, "You always get it." That sounds warm, doesn't it? Yet notice what usually follows. More venting, more detail, more trust placed on your side of the table. When one person becomes the safe container, who asks what the container is carrying? Many listeners learn early that steadiness keeps things calm, so you keep the rough seam of your jacket pocket between two fingers, stay patient, and make space fast. You trim your own reactions so the other person can keep moving. Over time, caring quietly can turn into caring everything. Your own sentence starts waiting farther and farther back. Then something small happens. The notebook spiral presses a half moon into your thumb. You finally mention your own hard week, and the other person blinks like the furniture just spoke. They are not cruel. They are surprised. The role felt helpful until you tried to step out of it. Being trusted is valuable, but trust is not the whole exchange. As bus window glare slides across your sleeve, the missing piece comes into focus. You can be the first person people call and still feel privately alone. Dinner gets loud before you notice it. You flatten the wrinkled chopstick sleeve beside your bowl while everyone talks over one another. You remember who hates mushrooms, who missed the train, who is pretending to laugh. Halfway through, you almost mention the thing that has been sitting heavy in you all week, but the table turns again. Can a person hold the whole group and still go unseen? There is also a quiet trade hidden inside this role. Near the door, the coat hook throws a thin shadow, and you realize listening can feel safer than speaking. When you ask, you stay important without becoming exposed. When you hold, you avoid the risk of needing. What if the role protects you and drains you at the same time? A close bond needs movement both ways. You lift the red basket handle and feel its plastic bite into your fingers, and the shape becomes clear. If one person shares and the other absorbs, the exchange can look full from the outside while only one life is actually moving across it. After midnight, the charger cable bends across the sheet while a message appears. "Are you awake?" You say yes. Then comes the call, then the long pause, then the careful listening voice you know by heart. An hour later, they are breathing easier. Your eyes burn. The next morning, they send a heart and move on with the day. By morning, they feel lighter and you feel borrowed. Good listeners often catch things before they are spoken. You notice the silver receipt edge against your wrist and remember how quickly your body reads small shifts in tone, pace, and face. That skill looks gentle from the outside. Inside, it teaches you to prepare before anyone even asks. What happens when care trains your body never to fully unclench? Later, blue screen light settles on your knuckles while someone says, "I feel like you really know me." Maybe you do, but did they know what made you go quiet yesterday or why you stared at the sink this morning? How can that not wear thin? Being understood from one side still leaves a lonely outline. Outside a community center, you rub the dry stamp ink left on the back of your hand while walking beside someone you just spent 2 hours comforting. They thank you for being easy to talk to. You smile. You almost say, I have not felt okay for days. Instead, you help them find their bus stop and carry your own sentence home. The moment you need room 2, the old script suddenly has no lines for you. Loneliness is not only an empty calendar. The stair rail keeps its cold paint under your palm, and another version appears. It can happen inside full message threads, full tables, full weeks. Noise can hide a private quiet. This is not always a story about selfish people. A subway map under glass looks complete from far away, and patterns work like that too. If you always open space fast, others learn to walk through it without checking the cost. No villain is required. The pattern can grow quietly without anyone meaning harm. So the change is usually small at first. You fold the corner of a takeout napkin when someone asks how you are, and instead of handing the question back, you answer 1 inch more honestly. Not a speech, not a collapse, just one true sentence before you return to listening. Could that be the first way back? A real bond needs your weight on it too. Another shift is to stop hiding your need behind perfect timing. The mailbox flap gives a dull shine in the hall while you realize people cannot respond to what never appears. If you only speak once, you are overflowing. Others meet the flood, not you. People cannot return to a door you never open. Picture a ride home after rain. The window keeps tiny dots of water while the person beside you starts another story. Usually you would settle in and carry it. This time you say softly, I can listen, but I need to say one thing first. There is a brief cold pause. Then the whole shape changes. They turn. They ask. The first seconds feel awkward, but they make room where there was only duty. Some relationships will resist this shift. On the kitchen counter, the fruit sticker curls at one edge, and that small lift tells the truth. A few people like the comfort of pouring more than the reality of meeting you. It stings, but it clarifies. Was it closeness, or were you simply easy to pour into? What they want is not extra spotlight. The sweater cuff pill catches on your thumb, and the request becomes very modest. To be included in the exchange, to be carried back sometimes. That is not too much to ask. When the pattern improves, it feels almost plain. Steam blurs the bathroom mirror for a second, then clears, and the whole idea of connection looks simpler. Someone notices your face before their own story begins. Someone remembers what you said last week. The right people do not only arrive with stories, they arrive with room for your return. By the end, nothing dramatic may change. Morning light settles on the untied laces by the door. You still listen well. You still care. But you ask fewer rescuing questions, speak one honest sentence sooner, and wait to see who can meet it. Maybe that is when listening stops feeling like disappearance and starts feeling like company.